Hey everyone, in this video I will be installing LED headlights into my 2014 GMC Sierra. I went with the SL1 LED headlight from Diode Dynamics. I used Diode Dynamics before on my LED fog lights and was really happy with the results and the quality of the product, so I went with them again for their headlights. This kit is nice because it can be used in both reflector type and projector housings. Here's a shot of the actual LEDs. They are just plug and play, so the installation isn't too bad. And usually I like to keep these videos short and concise, but there is something I do want to mention before we actually do any installation on the actual truck. In 2014 and 2015 GMC Sierra model years, there is an adjustment that you need to make. And these are nice because you can make adjustments of the orientation of the LED. For example, right out of the box, you can see the orientation. There are 3 tabs, and the largest tab is lined up with the line of the actual LED. However, for 2014 and 2015 GMC Sierras, you need to adjust that by 30 degrees, which is basically just 1 notch over. So you can see on this one the big tab is a little bit to the left, counterclockwise 30 degrees. I'll also put a screenshot from the Diode Dynamics website because they have a nice picture showing how it should look after you make the adjustment. So this one I've already done. I will do this one just to show you how easy it is to adjust, and then we will head outside and start the installation. So first thing we have to do is remove this rubber ring here. So I have a very small screwdriver, and I just gently pry it up and remove it like that. That will give you access to this tiny Phillips head screw. So what you have to do is to simply unscrew that. And once that's unscrewed, this plastic collar should lift up. And sometimes you actually have to get the screw out. Don't lose that, it's very tiny. So this should now lift up like this. And then we're going to turn it counterclockwise 30 degrees or just 1 notch over, like that. So if you look at it now, I had it here and I moved it counterclockwise to 30 degrees and push it back down. So once you're happy with the adjustment, you just put the collar back in place. Then you take that tiny screw from before, you reinstall that. This will hold the positioning in place. And then lastly, you just have to take this rubber ring and just position it back into the channel. Like that. So there you go. So now both of these LEDs now have the correct orientation and position to install properly in the headlight housings. Here is the screenshot from the Diode Dynamics website I mentioned earlier, showing the normal orientation versus one that has been adjusted. I will put a link in the description of the video to the Diode Dynamics website where I purchased these headlights as well. Okay, so now we're outside with the truck, and I'm going to start with the driver's side bulb first. I'm going to remove the stock one. And this one is definitely the easier of the two because you have plenty of room here to access the headlight. So the first thing you have to do is remove this dust cover. So just turn that counterclockwise a little bit and then pull that off. Once you have that off, you can actually reach into the housing and you can unscrew the bulb. and then gently pull it out like that. I'm now going to disconnect the electrical connection to the stock bulb. And it's easier with two hands, so hold on one second. So I remove the bulb, so you're left with this electrical connection here, which we will plug the new LEDs into. Here's the new replacement LED. So I'm going to start by simply just plugging in to the stock electrical connector right there. I needed both hands to do that, but here's a shot of it plugged in. So now what I'm going to do is reinstall, or install rather, the LED bulb. So I'm going to place this into the housing. This is where you would you line up the slots and you turn to lock it in place like that. Alright, so once the LED is all set, you're actually going to tuck in the remaining the wires here and the driver into the housing itself. So it's easier for the wires to kind of go up and over the LED, and then kind of just work the driver in there like so. It seems to fit everything pretty well. So now it's just as simple as reinstalling your dust cover or dust cap like that, and turn it. There we go. There, this one is done. So let's take a look, see what it looks like. So here we can see the LED on the right and the stock bulb on the left. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the LED has a much brighter, almost a tinge of blue, bluish glow to it, whereas the stock incandescent bulb has more of a yellowish glow to it. So I like the look so far. I'll do another one now with the fog lights on, and they're also LED, which I upgraded, and I did a video showing that as well from the same company. Alright, so here's a shot with the fog lights on. Both of them are LEDs from Diode Dynamics, and you can see on the right, the driver's side, the fog light and the headlights now match pretty nice, as they should, because they're the same temperature. Okay, so next we're going to work on the passenger side headlight. You will have to remove the air box here. This looks different than the stock one. I upgraded to a cold air intake, but the steps are relatively the same. The first thing you have to do is pry up these two plastic rivets, one right here and then one right there. This is ideal if you have one of these plastic trim removal tools, but in a pinch you can use a flathead screwdriver. Okay, once those two plastic rivets are removed, this will allow you to lift up here to access a 10mm bolt here, which is attaching this support bar. So we have to totally take off that bolt and then just loosen this one. So I actually went ahead and removed this because with the aftermarket air raid, I didn't have enough clearance to simply swing this out of the way without it rubbing here. So I believe with the stock air box you wouldn't have to totally remove it, you can just kind of swing it out of the way. So I just wanted to make note of that. So first I'm going to loosen this clamp to get the air filter out of here. And then down at the bottom of the actual air box there is a 10mm nut there I'm going to loosen. And then from there I should be able to lift the air box out, and I may need to loosen these two clamps here just to give me some wiggle room. Okay, now with the airbox out of the way, I now have the access I need to the dust cover on the passenger side. So I'm going to do the same exact thing I did on the driver's side. Take the dust cover off, remove the stock bulb, just plug in the LED. Here's a shot with both headlights on. I'll do another video tonight showing how they look in the dark as well. Here's a shot of them at night. They're a lot brighter than the stock incandescent bulbs. Here's a shot with both the LED fog lights and headlights on. Here's a shot of them at night, driving. Here's a shot of me shooting the lights into the backyard. So here, this is the regular low beams, and I forgot to mention earlier, these LEDs, they have both your regular low beam and high beam. So right here is the high beam. Back to the low beam, and high. So I'm very happy with them so far. Thank you very much for watching.